Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Beatles' White Album. This album was released on November 22nd, 1968. It was recorded from May 30th to October 14th, 1968 at the EMI Studios in London and the Trident Studios in London. It was mixed. It's a fusion of rock, pop, and folk. It is 93 minutes and 93 seconds long. It was the Beatles' first album released on their label Apple, and it was produced by George Martin. The cover is all white with nothing but the title and the serial number or catalog number. And the back has nothing but white on it. The gatefold has nothing but the track listing and the photos of all four members. So without further ado, let's get on with the review. Back in the USSR was written by John and Paul, and it's a great song. And by the way, this video is going to be a bit longer, so just a warning. And also, back in the USSR, and Dear Prudence, which is the next song on this album, where Ringo actually left towards the end of the recording of the White Album, and those two, I believe, were the last two songs recorded. So Paul is actually playing drums on both of them. And then Glass Onion, which John and Paul wrote, and sometimes the Paul is dead phenomenon. People get a message from this because the walrus was Paul, and they say that, like, walrus, it means corpse in Greek. And then my favorite song on the album, Obla-Di Obla-Da, which John and Paul wrote, John hated that song. He hated it. And, he actually, Paul wrote most of it, but John was playing piano on that song. And during the day they recorded that song, John left not satisfied, and then he called the rest of the band back later that night. He was drunk and high, and Yoko was there, of course. And he yelled, "This is how your freaking song should be," and got on the piano and played the riff, and so that's how the piano riff came to be. And then Wild Honey Pie, the song isn't very good, not very well written. I'm pretty sure it was either, if I look who wrote that song. Wild Honey Pie was written by John and Paul, okay. And I believe it's a Paul solo track. But, oh yeah, and 16 of the songs on this album are actually solo tracks from the band because they just hated each other. But Wild Honey Pie isn't a very good song. And it was either a Wild Honey Pie or just Honey Pie, which I'll get to later. But one of them, George Harrison, just sang it around the house for fun, and his wife, Patty Boyd, liked the song, so she gave some advice to the Beatles to record that song. But its place on the album is what makes it special. By itself, it's a bad song that just people don't like, but when it's between Obla-Di and the Obla-Di Obla-Da and the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, it shines. And then next is the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, which they did with Yoko Ono. I quite like that song, and all of the Beatles participated on it too. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which they did with Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton actually was also on Obla-Di Obla-Da, and Eric played all the guitar solos on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. So that's cool, but John didn't like it too. John didn't like that one either. He said, and the only reason he didn't like it was because Obla-Di Obla-Da he thought didn't make sense. Happiness is a Warm Gun, which I'm pretty sure is a John solo track. John and Paul wrote it. Um, I really like that song, maybe in my top 5 on the whole album. Martha My Dear, which John and Paul wrote, and it's a Paul solo track. Um, I like that one too. It's quite fun to play guitar to as well. I'm So Tired, which John and Paul wrote, and it's a John solo track. Um, this also spawned some more Paul is dead rumors because there's some gibberish at the end of I'm So Tired that John says, and if you play that backwards, some say it says, quote, Paul is dead man, miss him, miss him, miss him.